Good morning. This is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi, right? Still a Corgi. Was a Corgi yesterday, will be tomorrow. So, welcome to another episode of Conversations with a Corgi in the middle of the coronavirus, and we're all still at home, thankfully. So, one of the things that happened when this all was starting is that I had a friend who seemed a little bit hyper excited about this. And she was calling me and saying, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And you better get toilet paper, paper towels, alcohol, Lysol, Clorox, laundry soap. You better go out and buy that stuff now. This is gonna be really bad. And the day that San Francisco shut down, she really flipped out. So it was kind of comical at the time, but not really. So I was like, better safe than sorry. So I went and did all the things that she told me to do. And when I went to, different places I go, the hair place and things like that, I'd say, I've got this friend who's really flipping out. Well, it turned out, thank God, because everybody I came in contact with did what she had suggested. And she's not a person who watches the news much. She's not on the computer a lot. She lives in an area where she barely has internet. But she works in healthcare, as I do, as does her husband. And so she just, luckily she was worried about her kid. She's got a son with a pretty serious respiratory issue who's like 12. And she really was worried about him. That is why she went into hyperdrive. And she planned to take her kids out of school a week before they even took the kids out of school in her area. So one of the things I'm telling you this for is because I created, as a result of what she said, plus the way my life was running at the time, I was getting really organized in a lot of ways. There's this in my journal, tiny little scribbly, I write practically illegibly, it's really ridiculous, but it's from writing notes for 25 years as a PT. So anyway, I made a long couple-page list of scribbles of things I'm grateful for that I did before this got bad. And then I've added to it every day more things I'm grateful for. For instance, I really love to dance and I've missed dancing. And so yesterday I'm randomly watching some news show on PBS and they talk about an online dance club with DJs and professional dancers and other dancers. And I managed to find them and hook up with them, and they do a dance party 3 times a week at 5 o'clock. What a good time to dance, right? And for me it is better than midnight. And right now, anyway, she posts all these great things, and so I found them. And that is something I'm so grateful for, to be able to dance, because that's one thing I miss, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that again in a group. So I encourage everyone to make like a long gratitude list for things like, good thing I got my hair cut before this started. I was pretty much low on toilet paper, so I just bought a giant thing of it, and I only need to do that like 4 times a year because I'm one person. But things like that, had gone to the hair place, got the car inspected, got the oil change in the car, finished my taxes. I mean, there's a whole list of things that I'm grateful I did before all this got bad. And I had taken a lot of the things that I use at work home from work instead of leaving them there, because my friend was flipping out, and I was like, you know what, I might be home for a long time. Who knows? Maybe our place will never open again. It's possible. So I am grateful I brought all that stuff home and bought all the food that I needed, a whole variety of things, and made arrangements to figure out how I'm going to store my food. And the last thing was another friend who smartly said, you know what, you better get the garden going because you're really going to need those vegetables more than ever. And I'm like, really? But lo and behold, the co-op had seeds, and I bought a bunch of seeds, and other people had already, in a couple of hours, cleaned out half of the seeds. So thanks to that other friend, I've got some lettuce planted that's now like this big. And I feel bad because I've had to nurture them and then I'm going to eat them. Ugh. But the garden will be ready in maybe another week. So you know, all these things are adding up to a point where I just can't help but be grateful. And I'm grateful that my house is good and that I can walk 2-3 miles in any direction any day of the week. And I've got a yard that needs maintenance and, you know, lots of little projects here to keep me busy. Plus, I'm hardly ever not busy, so it hasn't been a problem. But I encourage everyone to make a list of things they're grateful for that they did before this came on, and then add to it every day a couple of things. And I encourage you to write this down. A lot of times I've done talks like this, and you know, like my friend Bernie Siegel or Linda Tellington, they like to say things they're grateful for in their head before they get out of bed or before they fall asleep. Bernie makes huge lists alphabetically of things he wants to be grateful for. But I think making a written list in this case is really helpful, because then you can look back on it. And I don't think there's a person listening who isn't grateful for the extra time with their pets. So that's one thing right there. But the things that you got done ahead of time, you know, like maybe you quit that horrible job and we're already on the unemployment, so now you're in good shape. I mean, there could be a million things that you're grateful for. Maybe you went on a diet and so you have particular things in the house that are better than what you might have had otherwise. I don't know. But maybe you, like me, got a new phone, a new computer, a new vacuum cleaner, you know, something like that that you've used a lot in the last couple of weeks that you're really grateful for. And of course, we are grateful for our dogs. And I'm going to today, because it's so horrible out, we're not going out at all. Tristan's already been prepared for the fact that we're going to try to teach him a couple of new tricks for our dog dancing routines today, because that's exhausting for both of us. And fun, right? He's like, yeah, there's a lot of snacks with that. So there's always things you can do with your dogs when you're trapped indoors. So everybody get your pen out, maybe more legibly than I write. Make your list of things you're grateful for that you did before you were quarantined in your house, and then add to it every day. You might even create a little journal for yourself. I, of course, have tons of journals in the house because I'm always keeping a journal of one kind or another. One of the ones that a friend recommended years ago was to make a journal to yourself about things you like about yourself, including like something you did today, like I really helped that student with this essay. I think you really got something from it, you know, things like that. And then when you feel crummy, you can go back and read all the nice things that you know about you from writing in that journal. And it was so hard for me at the time that the journal I picked to write it in was like 4 inches by 4 inches. And then immediately I had to transfer it to a bigger sized one. But it's really fun if you have any paper. I mean, most of us have printer paper in the house, to make your own journal. You can sew the binding, you can punch holes in it and use like ribbon or lace or something to tie it together. So that's another little project you can do. But I really encourage everyone to keep a gratitude journal now, because gratitude is one way to overcome fear. And it's something that we all need to practice lots of right now, because things are so difficult in so many places. The weather in the South has just been horrendous. It's sweeping its way up through the mid-Atlantic right now. We didn't have that much snow this year, and that's been a blessing because I've been able to walk everywhere without sliding and slipping on the ice, so that's been great. And, you know, there's millions of things that we can be grateful for. The sun comes up every day. That's one thing right there. And probably many of us are exploring some music we have sitting on the shelf, old CDs, old record albums. Maybe you even found your 8-track player when you were cleaning out the garage, so you've got plenty of things to do. So practice a little gratitude today, and spend time with your dog or your cat or your bunny. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today, and everybody have a good day and find something that you're grateful for. Thanks for joining us.